I'm the same way. I love 90-degree pools. It's like a hot tub almost. It's
Yeah, no,
beautiful.
it's like a hot tub. It's awesome. Awesome,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving,
awesome.
Thanksgiving, the new pool at the lake, it was like, I don't know, 50 something out. And Gene and Susan heated the pool up to 92. And the kids were splashing in it. It was fantastic. It was really, really good. Hey, Pam
Yeah.
Dempsey, Happy New Year.
Hello, happy new year to you guys. How is
There's
everybody?
Pam and Gina.
Hey, good to have you, Jean.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Oh my God, Tucker's in the house. I thought we lost him. I thought maybe he left, but there was just a photo behind him, but then he comes back in. It's like, awesome.
Well, guys, so while we're waiting for everybody to come on, I've got 2 more minutes. Um, Tell us what's going on. Tell us some really great things.
Contract signed yesterday on my new build.
Great, Annie.
Yeah, new construction.
Nice.
Yep, client from Minnesota trying to get out of the cold.
Very good.
Yeah, it is very good. And then I got 2 referrals yesterday, one for Payson from a Wisconsin EXP agent, which I'm sitting out in front of the house there looking at buying in Payson right now. And then the second one was for Prescott. People looking to sell in San Diego $1 million and buy in Prescott, which you could certainly get $1 million product in Prescott. So I am your cabin country girl, and I do all of the Phoenix Metroplex. So I'm having fun.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Who
Oh,
else
and
is-
welcome Melissa Walsh. She's looking at evaluating EXP Realty, and she is on the call.
Oh, good.
I love
Melissa.
your hair.
Melissa.
Good. That's
Hey,
awesome.
Melissa, where are you from, Melissa?
I'm actually originally from South Florida, but I've lived in 11 states, and Minnesota is home half the year. Florida is the other half.
Where in Florida?
Tampa I grew up on the East Coast and am going to be living 6 months from in between Palm Harbor and Fort Myers, Naples area.
Nice. I'm flying to Naples tonight,
Oh,
as a matter of fact.
lucky you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's cold. I'm actually going to Orlando. It's 36 when I land tonight.
Yeah.
So
It does
I'm in
get cold.
Florida now, and it is surprisingly cold. It was 44 degrees when my kids walked to the bus stop today, which is shocking because I'm in Boca Raton. We're at the bottom. It's always warm. It is cold.
Right.
Yeah. That's where I grew up, Delray Beach.
I want to give a shout out to Leslie. I got a text from an agent yesterday who said you were absolutely amazing. So thank you, Leslie, for being part of our leadership team here, the KV Core. You're knocking it out of the park with the training, and that's what we love to hear. We have so much support in Jean's organization, and Leslie, we're glad you're on the team because I'm hearing fabulous things about it.
Thank you. I actually get a lot of joy as watching those light bulbs turn on as I explain something that seems super complicated and yet it's so easy. So for me, KV Core is a lot of fun to teach because it overwhelmed me too, and I get it.
Good. Thank you. Who else is here? Jump in, you guys. Say hi. Anybody else on here for the first time?
I'm here for the first time.
Okay, introduce yourself and where are you from?
Oh, my name's Kirby Chan. I'm in Toronto, in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm with the
cool.
XP for 1 year now.
Well, that's where the real cold is.
I know. He's listening to me going, oh, 36 lady? Yeah, right. You'd be wearing shorts and flip-flops. Oh my gosh.
Interesting story. Kirby and I know each other quite well. He was my sponsor when we were back at KW in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's great.
Awesome.
Who else has got something really cool to share before we get started here? It's almost the top of the hour. Oh, it's after it. Okay. All right, Jean, You've got a lot. He's been preparing for this for days. I've been watching him. He's got, if you could see, he's got notes written everywhere, all over the table. He's inside with the great lights. I'm out in the backyard, but that's all right. I'm just going to turn it over to Gene because he's got so much. Super excited.
Well, that's great. Well, great to have everybody here. This is very, very exciting. What I'm going to do today, and it's Melissa, nice to meet you. If you don't know, my sister Ann, her middle name's Melissa. So it's Ann Melissa. So it was kind of nice to see Melissa. And then Kirby, welcome. Welcome, welcome, my friend. You know, it's just so nice to see new faces on the call. What I'm going to do today is give you an update. It's 2025. If you all don't know, it's a new year. I think we all know. I had 125 people at my house on New Year's Eve. We throw an annual New Year's Eve party here in my backyard in Puerto Rico. We had 125 of our closest friends. And so I know it's a new year. So what I want to give you guys is an update. You might want to get out a piece of paper and a pen, or if you got something you like to type in or whatever, just to take notes today. We had a call about a week ago with our founder, Glenn Sanford, our CEO, Leo Perea, and Tina Call from North Carolina, one of our top agents, and Brent Gove. And it's an hour call. We will send it to you, but I'm going to give you the highlights of it. What I kind of like, I don't know about you guys reading books, but it's kind of good to read the books and go back to the end. And maybe I like to read books, look at the chapters. I don't know about you guys, but I go, ooh, that chapter looks good. I think I'll read that one. Or in other words, it's hard to sit down for an hour and go, wait, I'm going to take notes. So I'm going to give you the notes that I took from this hour call, which was phenomenal. And we'll send it to you. But I think you're going to get a lot out of the first 20 minutes I talked today. And then you guys can ask questions about anything you think's just troubling you about 2025. I'm very excited about it. To give you a little bit of background for people who don't know me, this is I got my license in 1984. I know, isn't that a book or something? 1984 or something. So I've been in the business a long time, and this is my fourth shift in the market. I don't call them downturns. I just call them shifts in the market. They're going to happen about every 7 to 10 years. Just get ready for it if you're new to this industry. About every 7 to 10 years, we have a shift in the market. This is my fourth. So I'm going to give you some perspective from Leah Perea first. Leah's our CEO, took over about a year ago. Phenomenal. If you don't know Leo, he's been in the business for over 20 years. He got in the business when he was in his 20s and sold at a very, very high level. And he was Keller Williams' top agent for a while too. So what I love about Leo, even though he's our CEO now, he's still young. He's in his 40s. And basically, he knows real estate from the sales point of view. He wrote an op-ed. You can look this up too. He wrote an op-ed for Inman. Okay. So if you're good readers and you want to read that op-ed, I'm going to give you the highlights of it. The highlights of his op-ed. So what's the key to real estate in 2025? For you guys, number one is leadership. You guys have got to provide leadership for your team. If you've got a team, you got to provide leadership for your family, of course, right? For everything in your life, to me, everything revolves around leadership. Number two, of course, we had a little NAR thing happen last year, I know. So we've got to let go of how we used to do things and embrace the new things we're going to do. You know, it might be hard for some of us, but it's hard but necessary. Number three, this is really key to real estate in any market. Do the right thing. You know, it's so funny when you think of this. I have my uncle, John. I just talked to him the other day. He's my oldest relative, almost 89 years old. And he was a lawyer for years and years. And I asked Uncle John, I said, what's the key to being a successful lawyer or successful real estate? He says, Gene, it's really key. You've just got to be honest. You have to be honest with your clients. You have to be honest. Honesty was the big key to him. And, you know, to me, that's when somebody says, do the right thing, you know, hey, even if you're the only one, do the right thing, right? I don't really care about the transaction if it's going to be in the gray area. If it's in the gray area, I just don't do it. Number four, grace and empathy are going to be your superpowers. Grace and empathy are going to be your superpowers. What do I mean by that? What did he mean by that? Guys, we went from 2021, for the new folks, 2021 NAR This is in the United States. Sold 6.1 million units. 3 years later, what did we do in 2024? 3.8 million units. Okay, guess what? That's a big drop. It's a big drop in units. So sometimes when you're working that transaction with the other agent, you got to have empathy. It might be the way they're going to pay their bills this month, you know, and that it gets a little more tenseful in these markets because, gosh, instead of having 5 deals in the hopper, you might have 2. If one of them falls out, so have some empathy for those other agents that might be going through some stuff, and grace just helps. Number 5 that Leo brought up, and this is true in almost any business, but to me, you know what's funny? I talked to agents and they said, you know, I'm gonna call my past clients. Here's what I want you to write down. And Leo put this. There is no such thing as a past client. There's only a client for life. There's no such thing as a past client. It's a client for life. When you look at that, the consumer is the center of everything in your business. In other words, oh, I'm going to call my past clients. No, no, no. They're your clients for life. Run your business like that, rather than okay, I sold that one and that's behind me. They're in your world forever. Never let them go out of your world. And the last thing Leo brought up, which I thought was awesome, and it's something I've talked about since I've been in the business for 40 years. Us agents aren't going anywhere. Just so you know, write it down. You know, a lot of people have been trying to take us out of the business. It's so funny. I saw Bill Gates write an article. You guys are going to laugh. In 1997. And you know what Bill Gates said? The internet's going to get rid of realtors. He literally said that. He said, oh, yeah, because we're going to be able to go online, buy a home online. Well, guess what? It didn't happen, did it? You know, when that came out, I turned to Susan. I said, well, that dude's never sold a home before. Because, I mean, he doesn't understand what we do. We're psychologists on steroids, right? We've got to hold the hand of usually hold the hand of the husband, because the wife's in charge anyway. She knows what's going on. But hold the hand of the husband and say, look, let me bring you through this process. So he didn't understand what a big, big transaction this was for people. This is where they're going to live. This is where they're going to raise their kids, have their first child. They might be downsizing in Florida or whatever. This might be, they've been thinking of moving from Wisconsin. God bless all you guys in Wisconsin. So we're not going anywhere. You know, it was a great op-ed. That's what Leo had for us. Let's see what all that little visionary of ours, the guy that started all this, Glenn Sanford, in 2009 had for us. Here's what he brought up. And I think this is really key. I know the people on this call are the people I want to talk to. You're the hungry people. You're the people that want, you've already got your goals written down. I know Tucker and I talked the other day. He's got his goals for this year. How are you going to get there? What's your game plan? Well, guess what? What you need to do, and of course, I've been to a lot of seminars before. Let's say you have a year-end goal, Gina, of 150,000 this year. I'm going to make 150 this year, whatever, just because in your mind, if I can, and then you back it down, I'm going to sell this many homes. Okay, now I can make 150,000, whatever that number is. Here's what I want you to do. Just add a 0 on the end of it. Okay, instead of 150, now it's 1.5 million. And you're going to go, whoa, wait. I'm not sure if I can do that. Well, here's what you're going to do. If you're going to try to make 1.5 million next year, Gina, what's going to happen is now you're going to set different priorities. You're going to set different goals. You're going to get more listings. You're going to work with more buyers, right? In the commercial space, Tucker's going to go up in price range. He's going to get 3 hotels instead of 1 hotel, you know, and everything revolves. And I think in our head, we set goals sometimes that we know we can make, not to disappoint ourselves. And in reality, I think Peggy's known me a long time. I can show you my notes from when I started with EXP 9.5 years ago. I've never met them yet. My goals are so doggone big for this company, and they're all company goals, by the way. Mine are all, we're going to go here, because if we go here, my group will go there, right? But I've never hit them, and everybody goes, why? And I said, well, I'm so doggone optimistic. I want to add zeros to the end of everything I do. Okay, that was phenomenal when Glenn was bringing that up. Now let's talk about Brent Gove, the master Brent. If you haven't seen Brent talk, my gosh, you need to. You know, Brent's got the largest, he's underneath me, and he's got the largest team right now of over 20,000 agents on his rev share team. Brent brought up this, and guess what you guys should master this year? Now, again, when I say master, what's the most important thing of real estate? I mean, if I had you all shout it out right now, I know Leslie knows me. Everybody's on here. What's the most important thing to do next year? Lead generate. Hey, there we go.
Hey, Dee Dee.
There we go. Yay. Dee Dee's, she knows me. In other words, you have to master at least one way to get leads by far. I would hope you could do is try to master 3 different ways. So in other words, what I've always told people as far as lead generation goes, let me give you an example. I try to tell people, do lead generation that gives you energy. If it sucks energy out of you, you won't do it. For example, in my career, in fact, I almost didn't get into real estate because I had a buddy of mine, and you know what he did? He door knocked. I mean, he door knocked for hours every day, and I went, man, that just sounds like torture to me. I like people, but it just wasn't me, right? And then I had another agent that said, you know, I do blogs and posts, and I love writing posts and blogs. I said, man, I hate to write. I mean, it's just not my skill set. It would be torture to me, right? And they were both successful. And I went, but you know what I can do? I can sit open houses. And for some reason, by the way, when I got back into real estate after owning my own company in 1994, I just went back to sitting open houses, not Saturday, not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday. Saturday, usually I'd show homes. But everybody goes, what do you mean? You sat open houses during the week? Yeah. It was my skill set, and I perfected it. And I found if I sat this many open houses, I knew how many people I would get in. I mean, I just nailed it. So did Brent Gove. Brent Gove used to teach a class on how to do open houses. It's a good one to pull up. So in other words, whatever you do, it gave me energy to sit open houses. I mean, I'd come home fired up. The other thing on lead generation to key is find 3 ways you're going to do it. Find somebody inside this organization that's going to help you do it, that you know is doing it extremely well, and just learn from them. You don't have to recreate anything in this business. It is so open. It's crazy. That's what's cool about EXP or any company, but Melissa and Kirby, you're going to find out. Anything you want to do, if you put it out in workplace, I want to learn how to do open houses. You'd have 10 people corresponding to you through your workplace saying, I'll teach you how to do it.
Right.
This is how I do it, right? In other words, it's just phenomenal. Well, 101 ways to lead generate. Leslie's got it. I wrote a book like that. 101 ways to lead generate in real estate. Pick 3, nail it. And you know, once you get really good at lead generation, think of this, guys. Once I really got good in real estate, I was in the business about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. And I came home and I told my wife, you can move me anywhere in the United States. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I thought real estate was a local thing. I had to stay there. I said, no. I know how to lead generate. She goes, what do you mean? Yep, know how to do it. Send me to San Diego. I can do lead generation. Send me over here. I'll do lead. You know, in other words, once I figured out that I knew how to do it, generate leads, business broke up. By the way, for you guys that are just new to the business or whatever, the number 1 rule is to dominate lead generation. You only have 3 jobs. Write this down. Lead generate, show buyers or list homes, and the third thing is to negotiate the sale. That's it. See, once I figured out that was my job, I knew what my job was. I'm going to lead generate, show buyers, take listings, negotiate sales. That was my job. After that, I hired a transaction closing coordinator to do what? Everything else. Once you figure that out, you go, well, wait, I can do that. So I want you guys to figure out those 3 things are the skill sets you need to really nail in the business. You don't have to be good at everything, right? That's why we have transaction closing coordinators. The last little of the hour presentation that was really, really good was Tina Call. And Tina, let me tell you, she was phenomenal. Let me tell you about Tina. If you guys don't know Tina, she's phenomenal. And when I say phenomenal, Her and her team was the number 3, get this, the number 3 producing team in all of EXP last year out of 85,000 agents, 86,000 agents. But guess what Tina found out towards the end of the year? She's worn out, trying to do everything, stressed. You know, you look her and see him up on stage. She goes, you see us up on stage, and she's got a good rev share team too, right? She's got over 1,000 agents on her rev share team. So she's got rev share and sales, and you think, oh, Tina's got it all. But I played golf with Kevin in October at our convention. Her husband, by the way, they met each other when they were 16 years old. And they've been married. They've just high school sweethearts, just a great couple. And you know what Kevin told me when I was playing golf with him? I wish I could get Tina to come to this this retreat I do every year. I said, what is it? And he says, it's a life balance retreat. I can never get her to go. Well, guess what Tina did at the end of the year? She went. First time. And all she talked about when you see the whole thing is, let's get balance in our lives. When I say balance can't be perfect, we know that, but let's get perspective. Here's what she wrote down, and you guys ought to write it down. Put the cell phone down. That should be your mantra for 2025. Put the cell phone down. When you're with your family, be with your family. Right? When you're with your, you know, with your faith, if you go to church or synagogue or wherever you go, leave the cell phone in the car. Right? You know, I laugh. I play a lot of golf in the mornings with my buddies. I laugh. They have their cell phones on. I turn my cell phone off and put it in my bag. I want to play golf. I want a break, right? So in our lives, if we don't do that, real estate can really, really be just consuming. I mean, super consuming, right? You guys know that. What is this? This is Wake Up Wednesdays. You know, you're going, yeah, Gene, you know, this is a great, yeah, it's nice for you to say that, but I got 3 closings tomorrow. Or, you know, I can't, you know, hey, you got to figure it out. Got to get some perspectives on that. It's not going to be perfect, but watch Tina's presentation. We'll send you everything. It was phenomenal how she got perspective in her life. So those are the big things that I got from that. I thought it was pretty good. I give you cliff notes, and then I'll give you a couple clip notes that I have just for 2025, and we can all say it at the same time. Maybe you can mouth it to me because you're all muted. Knowledge is blank. What is it? Knowledge is power. I see Pam. Knowledge is power. That's right. Guess what? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. This is from a Tony Robbins seminar I just watched the other day. He goes, knowledge isn't power. He says, execution of your action plan
is power.
Trumps everything. And this is a Tony Robbins thing. If you guys are really trying to, you know, I don't know about you, but I get motivated all the time. I'll pull up Tony Robbins or Simon Sinek or any of the leaders that I like to listen to. And he goes, man, I said, man, that is so key because we've always been taught, well, knowledge is power. No, he says, no, execution of your action plan trumps everything. So what I want to leave you with, what's made me successful through my career, seriously, when I think about it, I'm just kind of anal about my execution of my action plan. I write down my goals of how many people I'm going to talk to every day. I could show you what I keep track of. So if I'm doing lead generation, you can't go home tonight without a lead. Just so you know, I know this is 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 o'clock. If you don't have a lead by now, guess what? You can't, you can't even go home today. You can't go home without a lead. Once I knew that, I kept track of it. And tracking what you do every day is very, very important, guys. You have to track it. And I know it's man, I got into real estate. I don't want to go have a job anymore. Well, you know what? Pretend like it's a job. Put your hours however you want to work, and you're going to work those hours. And you will be really, really successful in here. And keep track of it. I don't know about you guys, but I never worked out till I was about 45 years old, and I finally got a trainer. Because guess what? I'm being real with you. I didn't like going into a gym. I mean, I liked walking or playing golf, but when I went into a gym, it intimidated me. I saw all these weights. It was like, it's like going into a wine shop and getting wine for my wife. There's so much wine, I don't know which one to pick. So I'm being real with you. So I would go into a gym. My wife, who used to teach aerobics, she goes into a gym, boom, boom, boom. I'm doing this. I would go in and go, where do I start? So I hired a trainer. And for 6 years, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I paid a trainer, and I didn't miss. Now I got into it. Now the trainer was teaching me, but I found out that I needed a coach. I needed a trainer. So if you're having a hard time keeping yourself accountable, do the same thing in real estate. Pay someone to hire. You know, the reason we need coaches so much is to hold us accountable. So we will show up, right? You've got to. You know, and that's why I think coaching is so important. If you don't have one, you know, hire your friend and say, I'll pay you whatever. Somebody on this call, you know, keep it within the group and say, look, I'm going to, Melissa, you could do the same thing with Ann. You could say, okay, Ann, I want you to hold me accountable. I'm going to meet with you every Friday and then every Monday, and boom, 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 boom. You need that in your lives, almost like a trainer. And by the way, in 6 years of, I finally got into shape. Took that long. In fact, my trainer said he thought I'd never do it, by the way. I think in 6 years, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I might have missed 1 or 2 times. That's it. I mean, I was committed. So the other thing I would write down that I've always talked about, whoever's committed wins the game. You can't give up. Just be committed. You know, it's so funny. I'll end with this story, and then I'll have you guys ask me some questions. My wife and I last year were very blessed to go to Necker Island in the BVI's. We live in Puerto Rico. So we're at Necker Island, Sir Richard Branson's island. If anybody's ever been there, raise their hand, but it's kind of famous. But anyway, we were there for a retreat type of thing. And we met a little singer. You might know her name, Jewel. Do you guys know Jewel? Good singer. We got to know her and her 13-year-old son. But anyway, she was sitting across from us on a boat ride, literally just right across from me. And sitting next to her was a fan. Now, I don't know Jewel, but my kids love Jewel and can do all her songs. But I'm not. So anyway, I'm sitting across from her, and a fan is sitting right next to her. And that fan he was just being nice. But he goes, oh my gosh, I like this song and this song. And he's repeating it. And of course, I'm sitting here going, I don't know that many of her songs. But he asked her a question that I thought was revolutionary for me that I'm going to use all year. He says, Jewel, what song do you like best? Now, she's had #1 hits, right? Guess what she said? The song I'm working on now. I thought it was brilliant. And it just shut him up. You know, you go, well, really? Yeah, I like it. And so you guys, 2025 should be the song you're working on now. Doesn't matter what you did in 24, doesn't matter what you did in 23, 22. So what you had the most unbelievable year in 2021, which most people did because it was an unbelievable year. Yep. What's that say? Choose your story. Yep. In other words, the bottom line is, guys, this is your song. This is your best year. Make it your best year. Do whatever. If you guys need help, I'm there for you. As you guys know, being part of our team and anybody in the organization, if you guys need help, you can text me at any time. I'm going to give you my cell number now so you don't forget it. It's 703-338-1515. And again, that's 703-338-1515. And I really do, if you guys want to text me on anything, anytime, yeah, Ashley's got it in there. Thank you. I'm here to help you. I'm excited about 2025. I mean, I just think it's going to be another really, really good year in real estate. And hopefully the rates come down a little bit. If they do, we'll have better than you think. So there you go, Peg. How'd I do? Did I do okay? Is that all right? I got 50 minutes and like okay, good.
He actually was pacing this morning. I mean, he was all ready. It was, he's got my notes. What do you think about it if I talk about this? And I said, Gene, whatever you say, we hang on to every word. And some of these things really, you and I have been talking about this. It's so basic and it doesn't cost a lot of money for what you're talking about. You know, going through your database, and I love the fact that they're not past clients, they're clients for life. Annie, you got your
Yep.
hand up. Jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the song I'm working on, I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I just want to thank Jean for all that you give back to everyone here. I know not a lot of everybody knows you like I do, but anyway, I just think it's fantastic. I wanted to also share that Eric Jones is new and evaluating EXP from Huntington Beach is on the call.
Oh.
Welcome,
Oh,
Eric.
cool.
Hi, Eric. I'm from Dana Point, so we're right there in Orange County together. Dee Dee, you put something in the chat. You put a couple things, and I couldn't see it. What's your take on this? Love when your energy. You always bring us so much energy.
Good morning. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year. Jean, thank you for being here. Peggy, you look fabulous. Love seeing everybody here
Thank you.
today. Yeah, I was on the call with Tina, Elio, Glenn, and of course, Brent. It was amazing. Each of them brought so much, took lots of copious notes. And you're right, Jean. Tina's trip to the retreat made a big difference. And I needed to hear her words because I tend to overwhelm myself being sort of a newer agent, not too new, right? I'm almost 2 years in, but ever since I've met up with Peggy and been here with Wake Up Wednesday, I've been motivated to push myself too much sometimes to that line where I'm a little burnt out, but then I don't want to give up because I'm like, well, so-and-so is doing this. All the rock stars are doing this, but I keep in mind, have to keep in mind, these guys have been in it 9, 12 more years. And so I kind of already want to reach up to their level because it's really inspirational. Everybody says amazing things and are doing incredible things. And I want to be just at that level. So I have to remind myself to pace myself and rest. And yes, put the phone down, Jane. You're absolutely right. And enjoy family and friends. Otherwise, we isolate ourselves and then we kind of resent that. And I don't want to resent getting into real estate and being at EXP with all these amazing people. I just sort of take notes and like Jean said, work on my song. And I like that what you said, Jean, is like the committed wins the game. And I'm 100 and plus committed along with you guys. Thank you, Peggy, for today's call and bringing Jean on. And all of you guys, nice to see all your faces. Ashley's
you're
baby
welcome.
is so cute. My goodness, that's your mini me, Ashley. Completely. But thank you, Peggy. Thank you for bringing me on. Your blouse
You're
is
welcome.
fabulous. Are you still in Puerto Rico? I missed it in the morning. Are you
I
still
am
in Puerto
still in
Rico?
Puerto Rico, leaving to 34-degree weather in Orlando this afternoon. So tonight. But
Wow.
thank you,
Enjoy.
Dee
And
Dee.
thank you, Jane. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Same
Jean.
here. Same here.
So who wants to ask Gene some questions? I love it that we just open mic him and anything.
Sure. Shoot away if you would need anything. You know,
Oh,
I'm
come on.
So this is when people
When-
shouldn't be shy, right, guys?
Right.
yeah. I've never met a shy realtor. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't happen.
So jump in.
Hey, good
I-
morning, Peggy. Good morning, Jean. It's Peggy Page. I'm in Central Florida too. Come on over and see me when you get in tonight.
Cool.
I will. I'll call you.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to make the point, Jean, I am always very encouraged when you talk about lead generation and rev share, reaching out. And, I sat down with an agent the other day who is, he's big on Zillow. He was considering, I was on homes.com for a little bit, which I can't recommend, unfortunately, but I sat down with his numbers and the amount of money that he was paying in referral fees to these online leads and the amount of time that it took to groom those leads. I went over and I said, you know what? If you pick up the phone and you call people you know, and then you call people that they know, think of the time that you have invested versus the time you're spending on an online lead that you don't know. And maybe they'll close with you within 6 months. Maybe they won't. And you're paying them 25, 30, 35, 40% of your commission. Do the math. You can do half the business It's kind of like coming to EXP with our capping. You know, look at what your bottom line is. And I'm always encouraged by Eugene to just go pick up the phone, set it down when it's appropriate,
Yeah.
pick up the phone.
Hey, Peggy, thank you for saying that. I'm going to give you this. This is how I would coach people. Thank you for saying that. I'm going to give you a script today, guys, that you can use. If you contacted 5 people a day, that's it, 5 days a week. What I mean by that, I want you to add 5 new people to your database every day. Okay. That's 25 people a week, right? That's 100 people a month. If you just added 5 people, I've been coaching Peggy some new agents, and the new agents are great. I love Melissa and Kirby because they're just going. They're just going, hey, I don't have a database. I've got to go get one. So you start talking. You could get 5 new people for your database every day. Okay. Within a couple months, you'd have 200 people. Now, if you don't have people, that's how you add people to your database. You go, look at, is it okay if I just stay in contact with you? I'd love to help you or anybody. Just be a real estate source for you. Put it like that. Don't say, they're not going to buy a home right away. You want to be a real estate source. Then what you want to do is if you want to call your clients for life, I love that. You should be calling everybody. In other words, another way is like, let's say you have 200 people in your database right now. You need to call 5 of them a day and say this script. They're clients for life, right? I would call every single one of them, and I use the help script forever, Peggy. And the help script was this. I'd go, Peggy, can you help me? That's exactly how I started. And they go, what, Gene, what do you need? Now, these are my clients for life, right? They know me. Peggy, can you help me? You know what? Rates have come down a little bit and the market's softened a little bit in Central Florida. Do you happen to know anybody that's considering moving this year in or out? No, I really don't know anybody. Hey, could you go to work tomorrow and just keep your ears up? Because if you could help me, I'm looking for new clients, and just put it out there. Can you help me script? I'm telling you, that's why I knew I could do this business. Because once I got clients for life, I'd call them all the time. I wasn't shy. Here's the key. They don't think about us, guys. This is the problem with realtors. You sell a home, Peggy, let's say 6 months ago to someone. Do you think they're thinking about you today? No, they're not, right? Let's be real. They're not thinking about you today, right? They're in their home. You've done your job. They're not even thinking about their realtor. If you don't contact them and say, hey, can you help me? And they go, what do you need my help for? Oh, you know what? It's crazy. The market's come down a little bit. I'm just looking for some anybody I can help. Can you go to work tomorrow? Because they're working somewhere because they've not talked about you for a long time. You see what I'm getting at? You have to constantly remind them. Now, if you're sending emails, texts, whatever, yeah, that stuff works. But I'm just telling you, your voice, and Peggy, thank you for bringing all that stuff up. Your voice means everything. The way the way I'm using my hands right now, even on a Zoom. Most people look at your hands when you talk. That's why the top TED Talks people use their hands, because the first thing, the second thing, bottom line is body language is everything. Well, that's why I like calling people, FaceTime them, call them, let them see your face and go, hey man, I was just thinking about you. What's going on? How's the kids? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, can you help me? And they go, what? Man, I'm just looking for new clients to help, just like you guys. It was just a pleasure working with you guys, blah, 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 blah. Ask for the business. The problem we have in real estate, and I think, guys, I really do think the reason I was successful 40 years ago is I didn't have the internet. You're going to laugh. I was successful 40 years ago because I did not have the internet. I couldn't have it as a crutch. I couldn't have it that, like you said, I'm going to pay some company, whatever it is, and they're going to give me leads. I had to develop a way to go get leads without them just coming in. And so what I'm telling you guys, you've got to learn it that way. And then if you want to use Zillow or the other ones to you have a team to do that, that's fine. But until you learn it with the old way, I think we rely too much on, like you said, the sources to come in. Can you help me? You know what? I could be at Starbucks today. I could be at Starbucks today in line, and the long line. Oh my God, it's going to take me 5 minutes to go through this line. I turn to the vice president. I said, "Isn't it crazy today how cold it is in Orlando?" They go, "Yeah." And I said, "Man, it's I had to go find this coat. How about you?" And get to know this person. After a while, before I even know it, I said, "Can you help me?" They go, "What?" And I said, "I'm looking for new clients." And they go, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm in real estate. I'm looking for people that are moving and shake." In other words, in literally 3 minutes, they either like me or they don't. Literally in a minute, people like you or they don't. Just so you know, this is all communication. If you're really rude to the person behind you, they're not going to like you and not going to help you. So Peggy does it unbelievably. Peggy could get business just walking. I mean, walking the dog down the street, talking to neighbors. I mean, but what happens is we became really good at it because we had to. There was no internet. There were no iPhones.
Okay, Jean, that's great. We have a couple of hands up. Samia, good morning.
Morning. Good morning. I'm here in Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show, and I plan to lead generate as well as learn from the people I meet. There's lots of people in sales, and we met some people at the bar last night, and I said, "Well, who do you know? Who's your realtor?" And they gave me her name, and I sent her the event that Don and Allison have today, and Nicole. But the lifetime clients is something I also learned from Larry Kendall, and I urge everybody who needs a refresher. It's going to be on the Mindset Mornings. You're going to pick up the Larry Kendall's book. It's an amazing book. He's an amazing person. And he got me to change my mindset to put an LC on a database instead of PC, past client. So that's a very important thing for your mindset. And I reached out to a client that is in Vegas and I said, "Hey," and it's been a long time. It's been like maybe 10, 15 years since I've spoken to them. And she said, "Oh yeah, I get your newsletter every Monday and love to connect." And so it's hard for me to reach out for the phone, but it's my goal this year to do that. And I also want to recognize Sarah for telling us about smiling. When something goes wrong and you get upset, instead of getting upset, I just take a page from her notebook and smile and say, "Well, maybe this person is having a bad day," and just move on. Don't let those things eat you up, because I used to. Thank you, Sarah, publicly.
And Sarah's got her hand up.
Yeah,
And
you
that
are
was so nice
welcome.
of you.
Samia, you are so welcome. And next time we're together, I really want to sit down and have some conversations with you. I want to get to know you better, because I know that you've got a lot of experience I could learn from. So, Jean, two things. Gosh, in 2013, in the fall, I did Keller Williams Bold. Wasn't with Keller Williams, I was with Century 21 at the time, but I did the Bold class. The next year, I literally doubled my business. It went from 3.6 million to 7 point something million the very next year. And it was all from picking up the phone. So, and keeping that database and feeding it. Well, yesterday, I get a phone call. And on my caller ID, it has the person's name. And I answered the phone. "Hi, Tammy, how are you doing?" Now, I hadn't talked to her in probably almost 2 years, because that's when we had sold her land that her dad had bequeathed to her and her sisters. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I was prepared to explain to you who I was." And I said, "Oh, I remember you." I said, "How's your sisters doing? How's, the family, blah, blah, blah." Well, she lives out of town. And I had still kept her on my database, which meant she'd get my mailings and whatnot. And she said, "Well, my husband's father, we've put into assisted living and we need to sell his property. Would you, and we know you could help us." So got a listing appointment this afternoon, going to go meet with them. And then one other thing that somebody shared with me, and I felt like it was so relevant, and it's a different way of your script, but it's, who do you know that I should know? I'm looking for first-time home buyers in this market because there's some really good loans that I've just learned about. Who do you know that I should know? And I found when you phrase it like that, people really try to help. And then you need to reciprocate, because if your person you're talking to is in sales and say, "You know what, I was thinking about it, and you should meet so-and-so." because they're connected with this group, and I think it would be helpful to you. So I just wanted to share those two things.
Great. Great nuggets, Sarah. Love it. Whoops, Jean, you're muted. You're muted. There you go.
I don't know why I got muted. I don't know why I got muted, but Susan probably wants to use that every once in a while, my wife. But anyway, I wrote down that script. Scripts are great. Here's the key about them. Don't overcomplicate it. Who do you know that I should know? Great script. Wrote it down, right? Can you help me? Anything like that. Here's the thing. Don't worry about what to say, but just talk to them. Just call them. And I really do think, since everything is so techy now, if you even left a message, and this is the message I would leave to to clients for life, not past clients, life clients. I love that. Is, I was just thinking about you today, Peggy. How's things going? How's Susie and Teddy and Bob? In other words, bottom line is just thinking about you today. How's things going? A voicemail like that on their voice, and they're going to get it. They're going to look at it eventually. But anyway, just thought I'd share that. Don't worry about the script as much as, okay, I've got to contact 5 people a day. It's not hard. You could do that by 10 in the morning. You could do that by 9 in the morning, But if you did that every single day, now here's the key to it. It's a habit. It's done. You do it. It's not, I'm going to do 5 sometime today. I'm going to do it between 9 and 10 or whatever, because if you don't write it down and schedule it, doesn't work.
Dave Beeson, long time ago. I don't know if any of you know Dave Beeson. I know Jean would, probably Peggy, and some people who've been around for a while. He used to have those letters that you sent after you close a sale to keep the relationship. And I remember birthdays and anniversaries, and I used to have those. And I used to call people and get their kids' birthdays on my calendar so I could recognize them. And people love it when you recognize their children. So now I a video, which I don't like to do videos, but Don Hobbs encouraged me to do more videos and send birthday videos for people on their birthday. And they have been loving it. And I have my Samia rule, and I think you've all heard it, about how old you are and how long you celebrate. But it is effective, and I use it for agent attraction as well. And it does make a difference. So just like you're saying, Jean, you're asking the personal things. I think people love to receive videos on their birthday and calls. And I got a video from Jean on my birthday with you smoking a cigar, I think.
That must have been a good day for me. There you go.
So the personal touch has been taught to us for a long time, and we just haven't applied it, is my point. And do it a little different.
It's because of the internet. It's because of the internet. It's really just the way life's been going. We don't, they're trying to teach kids now how to communicate. Do you know that? Because they're not communicating this. Could you imagine if you during, what was that thing, COVID? During the COVID years, when you couldn't go to school and couldn't see body language and couldn't see everything, so those kids are going to have to be taught. What does it mean to smile when you talk to someone? What does it mean? It's really weird. So,
okay, who else has got something?
So since I focus on KV Core a lot, one of the things that I always say when I'm teaching is KV Core has the ability that you can archive or put a client as closed. And I always tell people those are like 2 things that you should never put your lead status into. It should always go back into sphere or new lead again, because they're constantly going to be on your radar. But now I'm going to use your wording on that, Jean, when I teach those classes. So thank you,
right.
Client for life rather than a past client. But I think that that's really important too. And for me, the way that I remember, obviously I do have a system and I use KV Core where it prompts me to call certain people. But as silly as this sounds, when I'm driving around, and as realtors, we drive around a lot. If I pass a neighborhood of a house that I've sold, I call that owner and say, hey, I just drove past the neighborhood. How do you love the house? I miss you. We haven't talked in a long time. And I use those as triggers just in my daily business while I'm out and about, because you'll forget about people, but I have to tell you, it's such an easy phone call when you say, I just drove past your neighborhood, so I was thinking of you. And
That's
it's
awesome.
That's great.
started.
I love
That's a
that
great.
one.
And again, we go back to this. Everything is no cost here, guys. When you're looking at your budgets and you're doing your budget this year, and you've got all these people every day. People are calling. You want to buy this? You want to buy that? You should invest in this. I got the best this. I got the best that. I say it all the time. Your best contact list. How many people do you have in your phone? And that's what I tell every agent when they say that they're stuck. When was the last time you picked up your phone and just randomly scrolled through it? And even if you don't know who the person is, the conversation goes, hey, I'm sorry, it's Peggy. Your number's in my phone, and I don't know, maybe I'm having what kind of a moment, but just remind me, let's connect again. Simple.
Hey, the other thing I'll bring up about lead generation, and you guys know it's in my book, connectors are the key. In other words, this is Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. If you know connectors, you don't have to have 1,000 people, 2,000 people in your database. You could have 200 people in your database, but 10 of them are connectors. What's a connector? Someone who connects things. I mean, they just do it for life. I mean, I have some people here in Puerto Rico. I can tell you, one guy, he knows everybody in Puerto Rico. I swear to God, if I need anything, I call him. And he doesn't charge me for the connection. He's a connector. So what you want to realize is you really need, if you have a database, and I would, when you're teaching that KV core, just don't put people in your database and, okay, I'm going to contact them so many times this year. If they're a connector, you need to call that connector and you ask them that script. Hey, can you help me? Guys, I used to teach a class like this. I said, here's what I'm going to do. I want you to call your connectors, and you just call them and say, hey, can you help me? What? I'm in a training class today. Try it out. I'm in a class today, and it's a contest, and whoever gets the most leads wins the game. Hey, could you get me any real estate leads? And the connector, guess what they do? They stop everything and they start calling people. Oh. And so here's the problem. We don't do that enough. And I can show people how to get business right away, but you got to call your connectors. And connectors or salespeople are your top two. So Sammy is with a whole bunch of salespeople where she is right now. My gosh, those people refer. They don't ask for money to refer. We refer, right? You guys refer to your inspector. You don't ask money. You refer to your insurance person. You don't ask money, right? You are a connector. Realtors are connectors just by what we do. So I wanted to throw that in there as far as when you're doing this, don't just consider everybody the same. They aren't. If somebody gives me 5 referrals a year, I have agents right now. I'll tell you this. I have agents that I taught that did this. If you give me a referral, guess what? You get to come to the Christmas party. And the Christmas party they threw every year for their clients was huge. But they said, no, if you don't give me a referral, by the way, they don't have to buy a home or they don't have to list their home. I just need a name. I just need a potential client. Doesn't mean they have. And guess what? She said, Gene, everybody gave me a referral. Everybody in my database gave me a referral. Because they wanted to come to what? The party of all parties she threw every year. So I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas to kind of jumpstart your year.
Okay, so let's recap just a little bit, Gene, because you threw out so much. So if everyone just wants to unmute, what are some of the top things that you just took away from this?
Yeah.
I've got a whole bunch.
Okay, Gina.
Oh. So I took down like every little, statement. So 2025, the song you are now working on. Client for life. Add a 0. You'll have more priorities and you'll look at it differently. Dominate your lead gen. Commitment wins the game. Knowledge is the execution of your action plan. There we go.
That was great. Look at how energized she is. Gary, you're not going to know what to do with her the rest of the day. She's going to be flying all over the place. Love it.
That's why we're going to have you come stay here, Peggy.
Yeah, I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Pam, you're smiling back there. What was interesting, Pam, that I don't know if you picked up on it, what Gene said, and this is great for you with what's going on in your life. Gene said you could drop him in any city and he could start to sell real estate and connect. So no fear about moving to another city. That's gone.
That's huge. I'm so glad you said that, Jean, because I am a gypsy at heart and I am all over the place all the time, and I'm already planning my next move. So
Good, good. That's cute.
yes.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah, just
one of the things I think that I took away also today is just remembering to focus on those basics, because it is so easy to get so distracted by all the internet things and all the wonderful things that, you know, EXP offers, which are all fantastic. But let's do our lead gen first. You know, let's make those contacts first, and then everything else is a bonus.
that's
Perfect,
awesome.
Pam. Okay, Brad, you can't get away from me. How cold is it where you are, Brad?
You know, it's so funny, Peggy, because you said, "Oh, I'm going to Florida, and it's cold in Florida." So it's -5 here today, Celsius, of course. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It's like what, 30-ish, 25-ish or so. And we're like, man, it's such a nice day here. It's so nice. It's all
So
relative.
what did you take away? What did you take away
Okay.
from this, Brad?
I also took a lot of notes. Thank you very much, Jean. Thanks, Peggy. It's awesome. Love hanging with you guys. I won't go into everything, but a couple things that stuck out: lead generate, show buyers list homes, negotiate the sale, hire out everything else. I've got do the classes, the execution of the action plan trumps everything else. Can you help me? Use the phone. So like that's I've had that in bold, Gene. Like use the phone and clients for life. I'll stop there. I've got other stuff too, but those are the things that I'm gonna implement now. So thank you.
Excellent,
You
Brad.
bet.
Yeah, and I think the coldest you ever told me was like -40 degrees one time that last year. It was like
That's what it was last week.
Brad, where do you live?
I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which is Canada. So just north of Montana. But we're not in the Arctic Circle or anything crazy. Like we don't live in igloos. It's just cold.
Oh, love it. Melissa, you're a guest on the call. Do you mind if I just kind of say hi and would love some feedback?
Oh, I love the whole idea of what you guys do every week, because I
Thank
think
you.
the whole team atmosphere, we all need that, because this is almost a lone business. So having a team behind us really makes a difference in our day and giving us direction like this. I loved so many things you said, Jean. I love the clients for life. I don't know any people in Florida, so I will get out there and you know, like you said, wait in line at Starbucks, all the places. There's so many things I learned this morning. Thank you so much for letting me peek in this.
That's
Well, thank
awesome.
you for being a guest. We appreciate it. Love it. We have a tremendous community and we do this every Wednesday. So we would love for you to join us.
Yeah.
Got a couple more minutes. Anybody else want to jump in? Brian, I see you there peeking in at us. Gee, did you see Brian's on the call?
My screen's not that big, but
Oh, Brian Taylor's on the call visiting
oh
us.
wow. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Hi, Peggy. Hi, Jean.
Hey, how are you, brother?
I'm
to
good.
see
How
you.
are you all? Thank you.
Awesome.
I saw who the guest was this morning, and I felt like it was necessary to check in again. Peggy, thank you for doing this every week. I'm sorry I'm not an active participant each time.
It's okay.
But like everybody has said, I've taken some notes here, and I think one of the things that I really probably like the most is what Jean said about leaving a message. I was thinking about you today. How are you doing? It's something that I have tried to do always in the past, but I have kind of fallen off a little bit, if you will. But the reason that I guess I like it so much is because I'm not calling them to sell them something. I'm calling them to actively show them that I'm thinking of them, which then in turn can eventually lead to a conversation about potentially selling them something or selling something to somebody they know. So I think that, you know, I mean, there's lots of good stuff, but I think that for me personally, that's probably the one I like the most because it just shows them that I'm
Hey,
care.
Brian, you know what's funny is that's my favorite text as well. I'm a big texter. I try
Yep.
to use the phone as much as I can, but I text. And a lot of times I'll just text people, Brian, and just say, hey, you know, I was just thinking about you today. What's going on? You know, I could have done it to you because, you know, all of a sudden your name, of course, now I'm, you know, now I'm thinking about you, but I'm going, hey, Susan, come here and say hi to Brian Taylor.
Well, you know, what's funny is during this call, Susan texted me.
Oh my
'Cause
God. Because
okay,
we
I
love
walked in.
Brian. We've known Brian forever. So, you know, you text him, come by and say hi. There you go. See, hey,
Hi, Susan.
That's cute. But you know what I mean. And Ryan, we don't stay in touch with people enough. And I think, guys, just to sum up what communication has done, I've been doing this for 40 years. We get lazy. We get lazy with emails and whatever. Oh yeah, I contacted them. Yeah, my KV core sent something out. You know, did we really contact them? Did we really think about them? And I think if you just look at your customer base as clients for life, contact 5 people a day. I'd contact 5 clients for life a day and get 2 new 5 clients a day. If I did that just 5 days a week, that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. It's not that hard of a business. The problem is we try to make it easy, Peggy. I think I laugh about it because in life, we want it to be easy. It's not easy. It takes work. And I know the ones on this call are the ones that are going to work. See, I already know Melissa's going to make it. I already know Melissa's
She
going to make
is.
it. She wasn't shy. I already know Kirby's going to make it. You know, Kirby, you know, I already know because if you're on this call, here's your group, here's your team. And every week you'll see the same faces. Get a big screen, see the same faces, get to know people. So I'm excited. If you haven't heard about it, we'll send you stuff about Cabo, our next event, big event,
Yes.
because it's starting to sell out quick. That's March 11th through 15th in Cabo. And of course, that's Brent Gove and his group. And we have, my God, we got Tom Ferry.
And
We
my
got
let.
Ed Milet. We've got Gary Brecka again. We've got,
Yeah.
of course, some guys you might know. Leah Perea is going to be there. Glenn Sanford's going to speak.
Glenn.
So we've got so many good speakers this year. So anyway, I just pushed that next Cabo event. Love to see
You
you
know,
guys
Jean,
there in person.
we got one person up there. Desiree, you have your hand up. I just saw that. Did you want to
Sure.
jump in? Was that?
I just wanted to jump on the Brian bandwagon here. I mean,
Good.
it's thank you, Peggy. I love these. I know I'm always in the background with my,
It's okay.
but I love these calls. But I was with Brian at KW, and I haven't seen him since. So it was such a pleasant surprise. Actually, when Jean was saying hello to him, I was texting him saying hi to Brian because we were all in the same KW office.
Mhm.
It's I love how we see more and more folks joining the EXP family. So happy New Year. And Jean, I thought of you when half of Puerto Rico or more than half of them Puerto Rico lost power.
Yes, we did.
That's not a fun time.
No big
And what did
deal.
Jean say? Jean said, no big deal. Susan and I went and bought every candle on the island. And Jean said, we're not canceling this party. We're going to do it in the dark, whatever. So don't cancel. Keep going. You guys are great. It's the top of the hour. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our guests, please come back. You guys know how to get a hold of me during the week. Just love all of you. And I can't wait to see you next week. If you have anybody in the Fort Myers area, I'm doing a vision board class next Wednesday. I would love to have them. I will host them for you and support them. Gary and Jean, I'll talk to you guys about that. But Happy New Year. And there's no reason why this isn't going to be our absolute best year.
Peggy and
Great.
Jean, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Brian, thanks for
Brian, great to
visiting.
see you, my friend. Great to see you.
Jean.
That's
You all as
awesome. See
well.
you guys. Good
Thank
to see you
you.
Bye,
guys.
guys. Thanks, everybody.
Be good. Have a great day.
Bye, Brad.